So let's talk about the debate last night. Um, Obviously, I don't think that this debate was going to sway anybody that was clearly in Trump's camp or clearly in VP Harris's camp. I don't think that anybody was going to be swayed by the debate. The debate is mostly going to be about independent voters, swing voters, undecided voters. So, how do you think he came across? Um, he came across as just as unhinged as his tweets. His performance was basically his tweets in real life to me. He came across highlighting conspiracy theories and just rambling, just like his tweets do. She did precisely what I thought she was going to do. She answered the questions, she was on point. You could tell that she prepped for it, and you could tell that he absolutely did not prep. You could tell that he is basically doing the exact same thing that he was doing with his rallies. He just blabbers. And I wonder what his handlers are saying. And I wonder what Fox News is saying. I haven't really watched Fox News today to see if they're even talking about his performance. So let's talk about some of the most unhinged lines of the night. For me, it was either him talking about Abdul, and this is what Abdul is looking like. Why is he even calling my name? Or when he started talking about the immigrants eating people's pets. Yeah, those lines were pretty wild to me. So I do want to know, what do you think the most unhinged part of last night was?
If you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killing our soldiers, a lot of them, with snipers. And I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got involved. And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul. And for 18 months, we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, we were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have left many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
I want to move on.
And these people did the worst withdrawal, and in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And by the way, that's why Russia attacked Ukraine, because they saw how incompetent she and her boss are.
Twitter had some very funny reactions. This is Abdul right here. And he's saying, oh God, Trump is talking about me again. He is obsessed. And then Ben is like, did you ever figure out why he sent you a picture of your house? And Sassington MC says, bro just said he threatened Abdul, head of the Taliban, with a picture of his crib and said, cut it out during the presidential debate. I really want to know what his handlers are saying, what his people, his advisors are saying after watching him say these things, because he just seemed to pull that name out of his butt and throw it out in public. He did that for all of us to see. Trump's debate to me was like QAnon come to life when he said they're eating your dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. I just about gagged. I cannot believe he said that. And then Don Jr. posted this weird AI pic of Donald Trump on a big cat carrying a big pew pew. These people are unhinged, and this weird AI picture is MAGA in color. This is their brains.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
More AI pictures from the MAGA crowd. This is cat ladies for Trump, but in AI, because y'all know that this is not going to ever play out in real life.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
And then here, I would venture to say that this one is kind of crisis. It's kind of crisis. We got it looks like what he is saying is a bunch of Haitians running to get these cats and he's trying to run and save them. Now, I highly doubt that Trump would ever pick up any cats and run, and I highly doubt that we'll ever see Trump actually running ever without keeling over. So this is kind of silly. One more funny AI picture. F. Kamala Harris, vote Trump, save the pets. And then they give some pet ducks and some small kittens. And they are some really adorable ducks and kittens. But I highly doubt that Trump really cares or gives a damn about some pets.
Talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
Now, no matter how you feel about Taylor Swift, if you're a Swiftie, if you're not a Swiftie, I'm totally sure that she broke the internet last night with her endorsement of Kamala Harris. Here she is actually holding a cat, and this is not an AI pic. I'm sure most of us have seen or read her endorsement. She says, like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on topics that matter to you most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. Recently, I was made aware that AI of me, in quotes, falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. She says, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we're led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. She says, I've done my research, I made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. All right. And then she signed it at the bottom with love and hope. Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. I do believe that picking JD Vance with all of his vitriol towards childless cat people, childless women in general, was a terrible choice. The way they have been coming after IVF and women's rights has been a terrible choice. But, the women are talking, women are loud about it. And like I said, no matter if you are a fan of Taylor Swift or not, she has millions of people behind them. And even if her fan base is young, they still have parents that actually might care about what their children watch and do and all that. So people can cast doubt that her endorsement matters, but she is a $1 billion economy in her own right. And that's not simply because she has a couple of people behind her. No, she has millions of people behind her. Anyways, I want to know what you think about this.
Did you say that people are eating dogs in Springfield, Ohio?
Yeah, it's true. You take a look at it. No,
It's nonsense. The local authorities say it.
well, you could check it out. Check with the authorities.
I also want to know what you thought about the fact checking. People that lean Democrat were like, cool, they are fact checking him on the spot. The people that were Trump supporters were like, "Oh my God, they got it wrong. They did not fact check her at all." And this part where he was talking about the Capitol, she said something about he didn't send out his tweet till a couple of hours later, and so this man Chad Prather, he posted this from Donald Trump saying, "I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and order of our great men and women in blue. Thank you." And I highlighted that when Trump sent this out, it was 3:13 p.m. That's well after all of the brouhaha of the failed insurrectionists had already happened. I don't know if this tweet was the gotcha that Chad was hoping for. Because, like Ty Talk says, right, because the rioters were all on their phones waiting for their leader to make the decision on what they were to do next, like robots, lol. Right? Like if you're in the midst of a failed insurrection and storming the Capitol, you're just waiting to get that ding that you got a tweet and then you're standing down. Is that what he really thought happened? Yeah, because that's not really what happened at all, because it was well after the all of the shenanigans, all of the violence was going on. And then Tom Santos posted this. You see the timestamp on that, Goober, 3:13 p.m. Trump was well aware of armed people in his crowd by 10 a.m. By 1:30 p.m., Capitol Police is overwhelmed. The attack went on for 2 hours before Trump said anything. So kindly go self-pleasure yourself with that Trump tweet. And he did not say self-pleasure. Trump told them to stand by, told them to come to DC, told them to stop the steal, told them to go to the Capitol, told them to make Pence stand strong, told them to fight, waited 3 hours to stop them, told them he loved them and would pardon them, the end. And the thing is, so many of his supporters are in jail or have served jail time or are now felons because of him, but he is free. I wonder how those people feel, knowing that they served time for a person that didn't get any consequences. Is hilarious to me that Proud Boys dude, Enrique, is serving like 22 years because of his role, and Trump is out gallivanting and fumbling and having a terrible, unhinged debate, and he's in jail. All right, y'all, let me know what you think of all of this, all of your impressions of last night and the fallout today. Join the conversation, like, comment, and